back to Spirit Squared. I'm Andrew Darrington, your host.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm Jenny.
Oh boy, this is going to be a fun one. So tonight we're here from the Humidor. Thanks so much to Blake Young, one of our sponsors. Here at the Humidor, we have the Vault Arms. I also want to recognize Red Construction, another one of our sponsors, as well as a new sponsor. We have a new sponsor this week, Hoot and Holler. I wanted to get a store involved with this podcast. Thank you so much, Scott and team there. They do a professional job. They have a great store. Love their selection. You guys need to go and visit them. They're in Gun Barrel City. I know it's a little bit of a drive, but trust me, it's worth it. They have excellent customer service. You're going to get treated differently than the big box stores, I promise you. Go out there, see them. Love them so much for sponsoring what we're doing. They're helping us out with equipment, and they're helping us out with content and all the good stuff that podcasts need. So without further ado, we've got a dynamic duo here tonight. Mr. Rice, Mrs. Rice. You guys are here. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. You guys are very involved in social media. So tell the listeners a little bit about some of the stuff you guys do. Because you're on a lot of platforms. You're on IG, you're on Facebook, you're on a lot of different things. So let's talk about your first content that you created. Was it the cats?
It was,
The
yes.
cocktails?
That was a quarantine bread, whatever you want to call it.
For sure. We talked for a long time because, like everybody else during quarantine, we drank
Right.
a lot.
Yes. By the way, they made a concoction here that's
Yes.
beautiful. Can you, I'm sorry I interjected, but what do we got here?
So this is a riff on a cocktail called a bourbon renewal.
Okay.
And I saw it, and I was actually working on a cocktail for the company I work for, 10th Mountain Whiskey. And it's a take on that stuff with our bourbon, just a 92 proof bourbon. It's a high rye, and I used our cordial, which is super unique. It's a peach sage vanilla cordial instead of the creme de cassis, which was in the original cocktail. And then just lemon juice, sage simple that I made, and what was the last thing? Just Dash Angostura bitters. Super simple, but it's like summertime, perfect porch sipping, is how Amanda described it earlier.
Right, no doubt.
Porch pounder.
There, yeah,
That's
it's,
it.
it's a crusher. By the way, we have a live audience. We've got 4 folks here. Thank y'all so much for listening in and looking forward to our conversation. So, getting back to cats, cocktails.
Yes.
I'm not a cat person, unfortunately, but you guys are.
We will not hold that against
Yes,
you.
you have two. You have 2 cats, right?
4.
We have 4.
Just
Yes. Okay.
4 is a lot of
It's
cats.
a lot of cats.
But according to the internet, we discovered that every 10 years, you can get a cat. She's 40, so.
There you go.
So, but I'm already counting down to my big cat.
So, what was the thought process on creating cats, cocktails, and conversations?
Yeah, I feel like this kind of all started during quarantine again. We started daydreaming about building a bar in our backyard
Okay.
and just having a place where we could just go sit and you could be super creative. And somehow that turned into let's start on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we just started making absolute fools of ourselves. and
Right.
People seem to like it, so we still do it.
Yeah, some of the reels are hilarious. I mean, the short reels and the questions you guys ask yourself, and some of the comments that you guys make, and things that you throw into the mix. Like, what do you do to develop that content?
So it really just comes from, like, a lot of times the drinks come from just me being like, I see a spirit or something. I'm like, this seems interesting. What about this can I make unique? Or I see another cocktail, or I literally am walking through the grocery store and I see a unique fruit and I'm like, oh, there's something there. So let's do that. And when we started, we were trying to figure out who we were. And I think anybody that does social media does that.
Yeah.
There's so many things you can do with doing the trending reels and finding those trending sounds. And sure, that grows content. But the things that really succeed is being unique and finding your own voice.
Right.
And you can do that by using those trending sounds and stuff. But I am like an artist to a fault in a lot of things. And I have to be like, no, this has to be original.
Right.
So when we started doing our stuff, I was like, I gotta find something that's us. And we did a couple of the trending reel things, and it just didn't work. And then I did our first thing where I slammed the table and said, "Today we're making," and I did it. I was making a cocktail with an egg white in it, and I had an egg on the table, and I slapped it, and the egg fell off of what it was sitting on and almost broke on the table. And it was like, okay, this is on brand.
Yeah.
Like, we're filled with shenanigans and silly things and the imperfect, which
Right.
is very much us. And that's kind of how it started. It just gave us an opportunity to develop some fun things. Be creative in a way to introduce fun spirits to the world.
So backing up, how did you guys get into whiskey?
Quarantine again. I think we both.
Is that how you guys met? Quarantine?
We
You were in the house together? You
I mean,
rented together? What?
yes, we actually matched on Hinge right before the world shut down.
Okay.
So we did what we called our quarantine dates. We found a show, and we were like, let's just watch it together. We hadn't met in person yet.
Yeah.
We would start it together every night, get our drinks, and we would chat. And it was the second time they came up and said, okay, just 2 more weeks, guys. I was like, you know what? Screw this. Just come over. I'll put chairs 6 feet apart. We'll sit on the porch, whatever.
Right.
And he was at my house until 3 a.m.
Yeah,
and we just
yeah.
talked and laughed. We bonded over 8 out of 10 cats does countdown.
Cats make sense, right? Yeah, they were not 6 feet apart.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, you know,
It was quarantine. I
it
mean,
was quarantine.
Yeah.
But we did. I think we went through 2 or 3 bottles of wine that night. We just, I think we realized, wow, we've got a lot in common.
Sure.
So he came over the next night and jambalaya. My daughter approved. So
Wow.
that's pretty much it.
Jambalaya maker?
Yeah, I just love to cook, so.
Really?
Yes, I love to. And jambalaya was the first thing that I ever experimented with. I'm still not happy with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Perfectionist by fault.
Oh
Yeah,
my
100%.
gosh. Yes.
Gotta be right.
So where did you start the jambalaya? I got to go down that route because I'm from Louisiana.
Yeah,
So-
I knew that you brought up jambalaya. I'm screwed now.
Yes.
It's really just like my.
Don't make it with noodles, please. Don't.
No.
No. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping
no.
that you did.
No. No.
I mean, scotland, chili. People
Yeah,
do crazy stuff.
I did grow up in Michigan. They do everything up there is just boring. It has no flavor.
Yes.
But my dad's side of the family's from the south. They're all from East Texas.
Okay.
And once we came down here to visit, and I had gumbo and jambalaya when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And growing up, my mom was very much a Yankee and just didn't season anything. It was all bland.
Chili with no beans.
It's just
All
was
the wrong things.
all the things that chili is supposed to have beans. Oh my god.
No.
I will die on that one. Why just bean sauce? Oh my gosh. Yeah, this derailed fast.
Yeah.
But no, I just really wanted to get into it. And Cajun food
Sure.
and Creole is just like super interesting,
Yeah.
super flavorful.
Yeah.
I love it. Jambalaya was my first thing. I still haven't made gumbo. I'm not balls.
We need to do something together.
I would love
because
Yeah.
like my last meal, if I had to have one on death row, would be jambalaya with gumbo poured on it. Like it would be, it's so good. Yes, and I make both from scratch. I make etouffee from scratch. I can make dirty rice. It's one of my favorites. A lot of people don't like it because it's kind of out. It's out there, but you got to make it with authentic chicken gizzards, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're kind of. I could talk about this for a long time.
So can I.
mean, I was a fry cook at a Cajun restaurant for a long time, and then they got me into making like the Cajun dishes and stuff like that. I can talk about it for a long
I
time.
think we should have a jambalaya off.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
good with
no,
me.
that's not fair.
Yeah.
Good,
Put that much
good
pressure on
with
me.
me. And let's cook it outside.
All right, you can cook. I'll make.
Yes, yes. So, how long have you guys have had? When did you launch the creation of the Cats
So
cocktail? It's cocktails
Cats cocktails.
Okay. conversations. When did you guys launch that?
that was literally December.
This was after 3 bottles of wine,
Yeah.
and
Those
then-
3 bottles of wine after a lot of bottles of whiskey.
right?
And it was right after Christmas 2021.
When did you convert from wine to whiskey?
Pretty immediately.
Oh,
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
It's funny.
For both of you? Both of you were wine drinkers or no?
Go ahead.
I was into whiskey, and she was too, to an extent. But I really like whiskey.
Yeah.
But I didn't have like the understanding of what is the grains and what all goes into
So
it.
you're just drinking Jack
And I
Daniels,
was trying.
Jim Beam, and
I would look up stuff. Like actually, the first bottle I bought was that I remember specifically was the Light Craig 12.
Okay.
And
The old
kinda-
school
yeah, the old
bottles,
school bottles. Yep.
grenade looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those guys. And then after that, I found Bellmead, who's now Nelson Brothers.
Yes.
I had the Bellmead Sherry.
Tennessee repping.
Yeah. I was really surprised how much I liked it. That's when I realized I liked sherry. But the first whiskey that ever got me into was
Like the rabbit hole whiskey.
yeah, the one that
Yes.
started it all was Glenfiddich 14.
Oh.
So single malt Scotch.
That ain't a whiskey. But I mean, we'll put it in the spirits category. Okay. It's I get it. You know, a lot of people like peat. They like, you know, that flavor of, and you smell it, and it smells like salt and other things.
Meat.
I'm gonna have to reintroduce you to some Glenfiddich 14.
I mean,
It's
look,
not-
I'm all
it's
about
tasty.
Irish whiskey. I'm good there. Like
Yeah.
Redbreast 12, barrel proof.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Cash Street's great. Blue Spot, all the spots are great too.
Yeah.
But I can't do. If I'm gonna do Scotch, it's gonna be in a drink. That's
Yeah.
it. Just the way it is.
Yeah.
So for me, the rabbit hole whiskey was Jack Daniel's Sinatra. I got it gifted to me for my 40th a while back. I'm not going to give the year, but I got it and I put it in a glass and I drank it neat. It was one of the first things I drank neat.
Yeah.
And I drank it and I was like, this tastes nothing like Jack Daniel's,
Nothing.
which I was a big Jack Daniel's fan at the time. Charcoal, you know, filtered, chugging it with Diet Coke, great. And this was like, I gotta slow down. I'm reading a book
Yes.
because have you read? I mean, the book is amazing.
Yes.
It tells a story about Frank Sinatra and his influence on Jack Daniel's. And it was the first time that I'd mellowed out drinking something neat.
Yeah.
And the box is beautiful and everything. I mean, it's everything about it. It was just transformational for me. And then the next time I went to a liquor store, I was looking for that same kind of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what else is there that could have that type of impact on me?
Yeah.
And that's where things changed for me. And then next thing you know, I'm got 150 bottles open
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
craziness and all that kind
Feels-
of stuff. But I mean,
Feeling.
you're
It
right.
happens very quickly.
COVID really like enhanced things, and even to a point where a lot of distributors were struggling to produce because a lot of them were manufacturing like sanitizer.
Yeah.
So they were kind of converting over to that and stilling that to kind of help, you know, that process. But bottling issues because bottling manufacturers were having COVID outbreaks, and I mean we saw a big. What I do, you know, we sell firearms and ammo, and we saw a big impact in that too. So it was a crazy time. The fact that we lived through that is just nuts.
It's like a lifetime ago, in a way.
I was listening to another podcast where they were saying that
Yes.
there's black spots in a lot of people's memories about just the sheer like stupidity of what we went through.
Yes.
And we putting face shields up and you know,
Like trauma response.
yeah, it was nuts.
Yes.
It was absolutely crazy what we were doing and what we were told to do during that time. And I'm not going to get into the shenanigans of the politics, but nonetheless, I mean that was the gist of it. Was
Right.
the alcohol was a huge part of that, and during that time I was doing a pretty good amount of barrel picks too, and the logistics were a nightmare too. Like
Yeah.
just picking one and figuring out when the hell you were going to get it, and then getting promised one thing and getting promised the second thing and getting promised the third thing, and it was just nuts. And everybody wanted it. Everybody wanted the alcohol,
Oh yeah.
especially barrel picks during that time.
Self-medicating at home.
And that was a big time for a big shift in single barrels.
Oh yeah.
Before COVID, I don't remember a time where single barrels were so demanded. But after COVID, or during and after, it's a big thing in clubs and even in bars. You look for those picks and go, I want that in whatever I'm having, or whether it be neat or whatever.
Yeah.
So you guys met during COVID.
Yep.
You start, were you guys married whenever you started some of this social media stuff, or no?
No, we were still just
we
getting to know each other.
we
No.
just got married. We were
okay.
married a few months because we met in 2020.
We have our
Married
first
summer
disagreement.
2021.
Just noted.
Okay.
Noted. Take the butt.
We all like that.
Hey,
That's right.
She agreed, but
Wrong response.
oh, I felt that.
Yeah,
I felt
I do too.
What is time?
Right?
Yeah.
What is time?
What even is it? What even is it? Yeah, we hadn't married long.
Okay.
And during COVID, we discovered the whiskey vault and whiskey tribe.
Okay.
And that's really where like we went down a rabbit hole. on
Yeah.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Understanding, learning how to taste whiskey and kind of gathering like, oh, it's super subjective.
Yeah.
And how people enjoy whiskey, like you not like liking single malts, we like single malts,
Sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's such a fun spirit, and that was something we bonded over. In the midst of all that, like I would come home at the end of the day from work, and she'd come home from work, and would have had a new bottle of something, and we'll pop that bottle and pour a little sample, and before talking about anything else, we're sharing this pour of whiskey, talking about this in the class, what we're experiencing. It takes down all of our walls and the things we experience, and they were good or bad, and gets us to connect on something, and it opens up the door for us to discuss at a more emotional, like level-headed kind of playing field.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that is like a big impact for what I think whiskey did for us in that time.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that was part of why those pigs are so special and why people are going after them, because they want those memories of the good things that they found in this crazy ass time.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
Hey, podcast listeners, are you in need of some top-notch libations to elevate your next gathering? Look no further than Hoot and Holler Liquor Store in Gun Barrel City, your go-to liquor store for quality drinks. From smooth bourbons to crisp wines and everything in between, Hoot and Holler has one of the largest and most diverse selections in East Texas. Planning a special occasion? Let our experts guide you to the perfect bottle. You'll receive excellent customer service not offered in the big box chains. Visit Hoot and Holler today and let the good times flow.
You guys are developing content. What's some of the motivation you have about making drinks? So you said you're a perfectionist by fault.
Yeah.
So what's some of the underlying, like what's motivated you to like push the limits on drinks, and then you're making it all, I know,
Oh, absolutely.
because you want to try these things.
Master taste
Yeah.
tester. Yes.
We said you were going to be a master taster, which is kind of a play on words, but we'll go from there. But so what is it? What are some of the motivating factors that you have for the creating drinks and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it's really just another form of art. I'm a musician. I'm very much into cooking. Like, and I feel like there's so much art. Yeah, there's science that goes into those things, but the creative feel of that and the enjoyment someone gets from experiencing that. It's so much. It's an outward thing for me. Like, I may not always be happy with the cocktail, or it may not be the cocktail for me, but if I can make something that I'm like, oh, that's good. This is gonna be right for this type of person. Like, that's my motivation. I get a lot of fulfillment when I see her. She has this one face that she'll do. I'll do it right now. Whenever she takes a drink of something, and if it's good, she'll go. Every time.
It's an eyebrow raise.
Yeah,
right?
it's just like a whole like moment for her.
We
And
don't have a poker face.
Yeah.
no,
Right.
you should play poker with her if you want to win a lot of money. But it's that kind of reaction when you find something. Someone asks you like, "Hey, I've only ever had," from the business perspective,
Right.
I've only ever had Maker's Mark, but I want to try something different. I want to go like a different direction. What would you recommend? And-
What you're telling me is that you're like probably 99% a giver,
Oh yeah.
100%.
Beautiful.
Because that is what you're doing.
Yeah.
is that you're satisfying others, but then in retrospect, it does it for yourself. And but you're pressing limits. I mean, I want to know like, but why do you do those things? Like, what? I understand it fulfills an urge that you want, but from what's the root cause? Like, what are the things? Is that your parents true and true, or was that friends and family, or what is it that? At what point did you that switch flip?
Man, it was truly watching people, and just when we started this channel, I literally asked Jenni, I was like, should I start an Instagram for us? Like, what do you think? Should I do it? And I kept questioning. I asked her this for months, and she's like, you should just do it. And I had just went to the liquor store, and I was like, all right, let's make a cocktail. I always wanted to make the idea of making a cocktail with avocado was something that I'd always wanted to do.
Whew,
So
that's a stretch.
I made this cocktail I call avocado spice and everything nice.
Okay.
And it is, to this day, one of my favorite cocktails.
Why didn't you make that? Come on, man.
It's a lot of steps.
Messy.
Crisis of all comments right now?
Yeah.
But it's so fun because that cocktail itself, you get this velvety feeling for the fats in the avocado.
Oh, 100%.
And
Yes.
I like to use serrano peppers because they don't overtake in flavor like a jalapeno.
Oh, I'd be 100% in that.
It is just, it's a fun experience. It's different. And I do it with gin and I don't do it with tequila. It does great with tequila.
Yeah.
If I was going to put it on a menu, I would probably do it with tequila because it's more approachable mentally.
Right.
But with gin, it's just unexpected. It's really, really clean. It's another porch pounder. It just takes a little bit of effort to make. But it's it's such an interesting take on a cocktail. And that was what inspired me to always be like, okay, I see what people are doing. How do I learn to do those things and put my spin on it? What weird thing can I do? Because I like experimenting with the weird.
Right.
It doesn't always work. But
Yeah.
We would go to the grocery store at spaghetti, and you'd say, different. And then you go home and come up with something. I mean, we've done passion fruit, and I mean, the list goes on. Kiwi one day, brought
Yeah.
kiwi home, and I was just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
do something.
Right.
And
So now that we've established that you do nothing but drink
that's it.
these, no, well, I mean, there's no doubt that there's some influence there because you suggest things to him, like, hey, let's try this, let's try that.
He's definitely the creative mastermind.
Right.
behind all this.
Right. But I mean, he's doing it because he wants a reaction or he wants something that from you. So what do you? He likes avocado. What are some of the things that he's made that you're just like, he could make these one or two drinks, and that's it for me.
Oh gosh, s'mores old fashioned.
Okay.
Hands down, one of the best cocktails he's ever made.
Are you a smoked fan, like a smoked old fashioned, or no?
I'm okay with the smoked old fashioned. I will be honest. I think I'm an old fashioned snob.
Okay.
I like to try them at certain places. There's some restaurants I'll go to, and I'm like, I'm not ordering old fashioned.
Right.
You know,
With a bunch of ice in it.
right. You know, you see it, the colors just off. But I'm gonna shit old fashioned for me. But for me, that one hands down is probably in my top, always and forever.
Gotcha.
Avocado nice and everything, spice and everything nice, fantastic. Actually, you haven't made that for me in a long time. So
And that's a point of
I
contention.
think we
Just so you know.
That's number two.
That's
And you're getting it from both sides here. So, by the way,
I've been sending him
Just-
some recipes for a while now, and I'm still waiting for him to make his take on it. His version of a coconut margarita.
my God, she sounds like a wife. 100%. Like, I've been sending stuff to him, and he hasn't never tried it.
One of these
And
days,
I love it. I love it.
Well, I tried my hand at it. I did it. This is the most miserable failure of a drink that I made, and I tried to make a.
Make it now.
Yeah.
I would do so much better. So I tried to do a coconut margarita a long time ago.
Okay.
Early on.
And I used coconut cream and I tried to freeze it to be ice cubes. So it would be
Oh,
boxed with coconut
okay.
cream. And I was like,
I'm
this
digging
will
that.
work.
I'm digging it.
This
Yes.
will like cream up the drink. It'll like
Yeah.
slowly do it. No, it doesn't. It just turns into blobs floating in the drink.
Oh,
And it is,
damn.
and I used a toasted coconut simple
Sheesh.
syrup that I made, and it was a disaster.
Think of a
It was-
car bomb.
Yes, it was an Irish car bomb that you quit partway through. You're like, I that's what happened. It was not a good look. It was just
So maybe
unappetizing.
this is why you're ignoring all of my requests because it's just trauma.
Back to trauma responses.
Back to trauma response.
Okay, so you guys have the Cats Cocktails Conversation
Yes.
IG platform, and then you guys decide, hey, look, we need to take it up a notch. We need to go and create the Neat experience,
Yes.
right? Which is quite a bit different. I mean, this isn't playtime. This is more organization and serving and an opportunity for you guys to get your name out collaboratively. Where does that come from? Or when did it happen and what kind of led to that decision?
I don't even know when it happened. It just
Well, that's
kinda
great.
just-
That's great for content.
Isn't
Thank
it?
you.
It's so great content. But the thing is, because we've been doing this now for a couple of years, the cocktail list, the craft cocktails that have come out of this game's mind
Yeah.
is so extensive now. And it's kind of like, why not do something with it?
Yeah.
So, I don't,
I mean, I would say like she's not giving herself credit. She pushes me to do a lot of things and grow and do better.
I would too.
But it was, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
And it was an influence from her, and we're a part of an online club called Spirit Animal Society,
Yeah.
and that connected us with a lot of people. And what really helped our platform grow was this group of bourbon lovers. Because we started as a cocktail primarily channel, but we're obviously massive whiskey fans, so we would do tasting and stuff like that for whiskey. And through that, there were people. I'll never forget two of our close friends. Mike and Jess, they were one of the ones that kind of put the bug in her ear of like, hey, why don't you do this as an opportunity for income and as something to share with people beyond just the reels, the fun stuff, give people a chance to experience that.
Right. A little bit beyond slapstick or,
Yeah.
just something that's kind of quirky and it's y'all, but I mean, it's a little bit beyond that.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, it's much more polished. It's much more presented in a fashion that where you're getting that information much clearer.
Yes.
Where the Cats and Cocktails is more just kind of you're looking at
it's fun.
15-second, 20-second, 30-second type spiels where the other is a photo and like, hey, let me help you understand how we designed this.
Yeah, for sure.
But so you guys kind of say, hey, look, we're gonna make this polished form of a page, but on top of that, we're gonna kind of add our services as part of that, right? So how does that work? How does the Neat experience work? Whether that's individual or one-on-one and or a bigger group, how does that work?
We tried to lump all of our questions into it because very clearly we got the cocktails down.
Yes.
We do the whiskey tasting, which we really enjoy. And
Yeah.
For a while, I feel like that was all of our channel, which is
Right.
trying, be deceived and getting our nose and notes, our palate notes, and we were right on. We started doing fast tasting, that kind of became our thing. And then, we were like, how can we market this in a way, So we got hired for a wedding. Ironically, the avocado spice and everything nice. The cocktail, one of the cocktail teammates just
3 times. 100.
This keeps coming up, and I keep
coming
getting
up.
more and more upset about the fact that you didn't make it.
Hey.
And so I refused to
Jesus.
take that drink. So everybody that wanted it, I kept seeing them. He had this long line of Vietnamese, and I'm over here making the gin and tonics. Just
Right.
Yeah.
it was great.
Vault Arms is your premier destination for all things firearms. Extensive selection of handguns, rifles, shotguns, and accessories. Knowledgeable staff to assist you in finding the perfect firearm to fit your needs. State-of-the-art gun range equipped with the latest technology for a safe and thrilling shooting experience. Take advantage of our professional shooting instruction and training programs suitable for all skill levels. Host your next group outing, corporate event, or bachelor party at our spacious and secure shooting facility. Committed to promoting responsible gun ownership and firearm safety. Fully licensed and compliant with all state and federal regulations.
But yeah, we were like, hire us. We'll do weddings, we'll do parties, but at the same time, cocktail classes.
Yeah.
If they want something specific, we'll create a cocktail for you. We'll come and teach you how to make it if you have that experience. Or people who are going to be introduced into bourbons or whiskeys or ryes or whatever.
Yeah.
Want to learn a little bit more about that. So we're just kind of throwing ourselves out there. Like, this has just been a learning experience for us, and we love it. It's a passion of ours.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think, especially being in this bourbon community, you kind of learn when you have that kind of passion, you want to share it with people.
Sure.
And that's really where this came from. This idea was just like sharing.
Yeah, it really, like, before we even started Cats, we did a tasting for True Bite Brewing.
Okay.
I was really, really close. You were there.
It's my favorite Christmas party ever.
It was so fun. I took them through a blind tasting, through 3 whiskeys, just giving them kind of I was like, how much of a spread
Tracy,
can I do?
Tracy and Ryan loves whiskey.
Yeah, they do. And they're wonderfully human. So it was just.
I don't know who outweighs he.
Yeah.
They both love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to do that. And we did this, and I am where the experience part of the needy experience comes in is there's a lot of different, like, mobile bars or
Sure.
event bars, things like that they're going to show up, they're going to make you drinks,
Yeah.
they're going to be good, they're going to provide good service, everything's going to run smooth. That's fine. But our kind of focus is, we'll do those things, but we would rather have those intimate events where we create a drink for this party, like something that they're going for. Maybe they're celebrating something.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And like they get to be a part of this, help create this thing. Let's talk about what's your flavor profile. What do you want to do with that?
Right.
And give them the opportunity to have something that feels like they were a part from the beginning. And it's more than just somebody that said, hey, I'll make you some gin and tonics tonight, or a vodka soda here and there. It is. Yeah, I want you to experience this cocktail. I want you to have something special that you'll remember forever.
Right.
And that's where that comes in. Of like when people come into tasting with us, it's we're gonna walk through the whiskeys and we're gonna do it in a way. I'm a big fan, and so is she, of blind tastings.
Oh, I love them.
Because
Yeah.
it takes your perception
Yes.
of what you're drinking
100%.
completely away.
Yep.
Doesn't matter the age statement, doesn't matter the proof, all
Yep.
those things go away. You can figure that stuff out with time, but you go into it and you're like, wait a minute, I thought I hated this.
Right.
Or I didn't think I would rate this high. This is a $24 bottle of whiskey.
My two favorite blind tastings is, one is you pick the blends. So we're going to have similar mash bills. We're going to have 4 or 5 bottles, and you tell me which one is blends. So, and they're all 90 proof.
Yep.
All right. And then the second one is bottom shelf.
Yes.
So we're not going to know that it's bottom shelf, but we're going to say it's a blind tasting, and everything's going to be below, let's say, $40.
Yeah.
And we're going to sample it all, and you tell us what you like best. Those are the 2 best blind samplings, I believe. And I did sampling myself too during COVID because everybody was, wanting to do something.
Yeah.
They were used to doing full-time softball, full-time volleyball, full-time baseball, basketball, whatever, seeing grandparents this weekend, that weekend. Nobody could do anything.
Yeah.
So what do they want to do? They want to go out, they want to do something, they want to be adults. They were stuck with their kids all freaking day, listening to this and having to feed them and that, and it was just uncomfortable for everybody. And I think that's why everybody started drinking a little bit much. So I did some samplings too, and same thing, like a lot of blinds and barrel pick versus a shelf bottle
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It was a blast.
Yeah.
And honestly, this podcast manifests itself from that. So I was doing sampling, and it was a blast. Like, we'd have 20, 25 people, enough to fill a full, 750 milliliter
Yeah.
bottle. And it was amazing. It was a lot of work
Oh, for sure.
once a month, but it was a lot of work. But it was still fun to talk about mash bills, talk about where it was from, talk about how they fermented and distilled and this, that, and the other. And then everybody went back to full-time softball, full-time volleyball, full-time, all this other stuff. And so then it was like 2-3 people showing up for samplings. And it wasn't their fault. It was just the way it happened. And I kind of had to have it come to Jesus and say, hey, look, this is not feasible anymore
Yeah.
to do this type of business model. Let's turn it into something that where we're talking a little bit more about entrepreneurs, nonprofits, brewers, distillers,
Yeah.
folks like you guys that are branching out and doing special things. I love to hear that, where you do something special for a wedding. I think that's so unique. I think that is a home run to me. If I was, I'm not getting married anytime soon, 15 years in, but if I was, I mean, I would damn sure want to have a specialty cocktail that was maybe like spun off of our names or like
Yeah.
what our likes are, or anything like that. It would be freaking killer.
And I mean, that's fun. Because when you were talking about, we met up in the home, we were like, all right, what do y'all like? What do y'all want?
Yeah,
You know, we did. We created the menu specifically for them.
yeah,
I think that makes it really special, rather than just saying, like, here's what we have, what you want. It's like, no, how can we make this very special? Because we're just background characters to your day.
yeah, absolutely.
But let us
Yes.
create something that's going to be memorable, that it's your name on it. You're like, this is my cocktail. We'll even name that.
Yeah. So, can you think of an experience where you were like, golly, this is why we're doing what we do?
Man.
Oh, gosh. So many.
Good question.
Yeah. Well,
That's a good one.
I'm asking because of impact. So I want one from you. I want one from you where you're like, there was a lot of fulfillment there, or a lot of like, where you felt there was purpose fulfilled. That you were not filling a void, but you were filling some, like what you were meant when you created this to be. That makes sense.
So I think this was a recent experience for me. Like it was very fulfilling. We've been doing these cocktail nights up here at the Humidor and invite people out to kind of taste through
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and taste some cocktails we're coming up with. And a regular in here came in. It wasn't a busy night. Just happened to not have it at the wrong time. Wasn't a lot of people in, but this guy wanted to come in and try our cocktails. He had seen what we were doing. He's like, I'll be there next time. I was like, perfect. He's a gin guy. I was doing a gin cocktail at the time.
Nice.
And I played on some stuff. It's fun things. Nice. I was talking to him and I was asking him as he was sitting there, all right, you typically do dirty martinis. Do you like a citrus forward martini? And he said, yeah. So just in that moment, I was like, well, I have some drink curacao. Let's, instead of vermouth around the glass, let's wash the glass with the dry curacao, just a little bit in there, and do this barrel aged gin from Buren. And I was like, it's already like sort of the vanilla impact and stuff like that, but a lot of citrus throughout that. And he tasted it and was like, this is so good. It's a simple cocktail.
Right.
But it was enough for him to he went, found Cocos that we had made before, and just gave just a rave review because it wasn't anything that we were going to make that night.
Yeah.
It was just something that he was like, would you have anything else? And I was like, well, let's try this. Let's see if it works. Because those are the moments, like I said earlier, that's the kind of stuff that we hunt for. Is like it needs to be special for the person that tastes the cocktail that we create, the things that we do. They will remember that a lot more than just going to a bar, ordering their usual drink, and be like, "This is really good.
Yeah.
It's great. I know it's reliable."
Yeah.
But they're like, "Yeah, you made this for me. I remember this. This is
Right.
special to me.
Right.
How can I take that home to do that?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where that.
And then
that's-
share it.
Yeah.
They're not just bringing it home.
Exactly.
They're going to share it with their family or with people that are stopping by. You know, the next picnic or the next barbecue that they have. I mean, everybody's going to be impacted by that. What about you?
So I'm going to take it in a slightly different direction.
I knew that. I knew that.
Yeah, right?
What's up, Brad?
I'm glad I'm not ever spread anybody. So, we've had a number of
Okay, Jen.
Thank you. We've had a number of conversations. Stop it.
Got him.
I knew it was coming at some point. I knew it was coming. We've had so many conversations since we started this about we started this just super silly little Instagram page, and it has changed our entire lives.
Yeah.
We have met some of our absolute dearest friends
Right.
through this bourbon community.
Well, and your chairs are closer than 6 feet apart.
Right?
They are
That's
that.
true.
So there's been opportunities that have arisen just inside this community to we've been a recipient and oh wow.
Okay. Okay.
Words are
Good.
I'm
Yeah.
so good at words. What is that word?
Reciprocators. Recipients.
Recipients, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
I promise you I have not had that much to drink. We have been the recipients of the generosity of this community, and we've also been in a position to help others setting up GoFundMes when things have arisen. But just to see the incredible heart that these people have. Yes, we all came together because of our love of whiskey and cocktails, things like that. We've been able to do
Sure.
some really cool barrel picks with these people and stuff like that. But it goes so much further than that because these are now lifelong friends.
Yeah.
And when they're hurting, these people step up and do what they can to help in those situations.
Yeah.
Sure.
And again, I mean, we were just like, oh, let's just go be silly and embarrass ourselves on Instagram. And instead, we have found this incredible community of people who were just at the drop of a hat, no questions asked, have your back,
Yeah.
regardless of the situation. And I mean, there's been so many times that we've sat in those conversations like, this is incredible. That
Yeah.
we've met some amazing people because of whiskey.
I completely agree. I mean, I've been part of a variety of groups for a while, and I've probably done my energy and effort has been a little bit more than most. Let's just being honest, because I don't have an adult. I have an adult kid, so I don't have any kids at home, and so I've been. And my job has allowed me to have some flexibility with scheduling and things like that. And so for me, I'm a giver too. I'm a big giver. So for me, like I like doing the grunt work of the barrel picks. I like working with the distillers and the distributors and the sales reps, Amanda. I like doing the work with her. I do. I know. I like doing.
This is one too. I hear you.
I like doing the work with those folks because it goes a lot unnoticed. These folks work hard, and they don't get the notoriety that they deserve, and I do that for them as best I can, and I work with them, and I've done that for quite a few years now, and then we do the barrel picks, which is the funnest part, like sampling.
Oh gosh, yes.
Sampling is amazing. It's really fun. And then if you make a big decision, right? A pretty expensive decision.
Yeah.
And then the gratification I get is the response, right? And that's it. You get the response.
Yeah.
Hey, love it. It's great. This is what I taste. These are the notes. I'd buy 5 more of these or whatever. That's all you can get. And for you getting that, the barrel opportunities to me are very unique. I don't think people really understand how unique that is if you're in the community. There could be 1,000 people and only 10 or 12 have access.
Yeah.
And that in itself should let you know where you stand. And it's a lot of times I've found that you have a couple folks that are invited to those things that are just, they'll play along with the crowd. Hey, you say something first and I'll agree to it. I'll be agreeable. And then you have people that are like what I like are the ones that say, that's not what I taste. This is what I get. And unfortunately for us, I value a female palate because of a variety of things. And we talked about it at our like second or third podcast with Shannon Hood.
Yes.
It was a fantastic palate.
Love Shannon, yeah.
And that there are a variety of reasons why females have better palate. Now, don't get me wrong. The more whiskeys that males consume and taste and give feedback, honest feedback, and not try to be agreeable,
Right.
there's no doubt that we can get to that point. But if you're not influenced and you don't feel barricaded
Right.
by giving honest feedback around males, then no doubt about it, you have the superior palate. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm just being honest.
I 100% agree with that.
Her
Yes.
palate.
I think that's called science.
Yeah, I think it is science.
It is called science. It's called science.
If you are looking for a reputable builder with a proven track record and a client base to back it up, give Red Construction and Development LLC a call. Red Construction offers full design build services for new construction, custom homes, and remodeling with free site evaluations. They have an A+ rating with the BBB and are proud members of the Tyler Area Builders Association, Texas Association of Builders, National Association of Home Builders, and the Lindale Area Chamber of Commerce. Red Construction and Development LLC stands behind the exceptional quality of their work and have the expertise, the resources, and dedication to deliver the results you need on time and on budget. To learn more, give them a call at 903-630-8660 or visit them online at redconstructiondevelopment.com.
All right. So, what else do we need to know about need experience? Like, you guys, how's the process work? How does somebody get in contact with you guys and go, hey, look, I want to do something unique with you guys. I want to create with you guys. How does that work?
So they can reach us. We're on Instagram at The Neat Experience, and also that has our contact info, our emails. It emails directly to me, and we can talk about what type of event you want to do. Are you wanting to do a small event, which is kind of like our forte? That's what we love. Like, we'll do the bigger events, but the 12 to 15 people is kind of the sweet spot, because then everyone can be involved.
Yes, 100%.
And then everyone's engaged. No one gets looked over or does, like you said, the agreeing, just being the yes man. But they get to play along and mess up or do it perfectly. And, it's super, super fun. And ask questions, and they get the time to learn from that, especially if we're doing a cocktail thing or a whiskey tasting or something like that.
Right.
If it's, like an experience where someone is just like, hey, we need some research or a bar for us. Let's talk about this cocktail, and let's create something more specifically for this event, and we can go that direction. And then we do that, and everybody's like, oh, look at the signature cocktail. It's the signature cocktail. They made it for us, and they still feel like a part and get to watch the process of that, which is something that we're super passionate about. Is, like we said before, is the whole experience side of it. It's not just a regular bar. It's not just going in and ordering, I'll have the old fashioned or I'll have this or whatever.
Right.
We want it to be special for everybody involved.
Yeah, sure. So,
To clarify, I think on Facebook as well.
what is that? Sorry. What was that?
I said we don't discriminate. We're also on Facebook.
Yeah, so if I want to
Are you
have
on TikTok?
yeah.
Oh,
If I want to like have an event, or if I want to do something with you guys, how do I arrange that? Do I go through Facebook or?
You can go through Facebook, you can go through Instagram, or
Okay.
you can email either one of us. Jenni@needexperience.com or Chris@needexperience.com.
Jenni is Jenni.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not. It's spelled correctly.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% sure that it's worth it. You guys bring the spirits. Everything's set up, so you don't have to worry about. Yeah, you just say, hey, look, this is what we're looking for. This is what we want to do. You guys collaborate with the creators, and then you guys figure it out and do all that.
And we also, like, for events like that, we like to actually meet with them beforehand and have them taste the cocktail.
Yeah.
So when it gets there, they're not like, I don't know what to expect. They don't know what they're going to do. So if they have it, they're like, that's not it. I don't enjoy this. Because I know that I'm going to be partial to something I create, and I need their perspective, and I have to have that because I know my palate is a little bit different than other people's, and I need to understand and look past that. So it's we always want them to come to us with an understanding. Like when we show up to that, they know what they're getting. It's not an unexpected total surprise.
So, two things. One, I'm going to share with you guys a creation that I made. If you want to taste it, if you're into tequila, I created this. This is called Sancho Van Winkle. This is basically what I did was I did a high proof tequila, a nice one, like an additive free, and you guys can pass it around if you want.
Oh my goodness, y'all are so prepared.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I did a high proof additive free tequila, but before that I aged a barrel with Stag Junior, which is pretty good.
I mean, it's
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
And so basically, what you have is an aged in a Stag Junior barrel tequila that's you pass it around. Well, I love the
actual sticker.
Yeah, I love the Gadsden flag, but I have stickers for it. The stickers are great. So anyway, it's something I could share with you. Are you guys? Are you guys pretty busy? Are you guys pretty busy with the Neat Experience, or is it seasonal?
You know what, I'm going to say we are picking it up on the We're getting it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're at more like in the launching stage of.
Okay.
That sounds much better than what I said. You
Yeah, picking it up around like. Well,
You got knocked down.
yeah. I got up again. Keep me down.
You take
Yeah.
a whiskey
Danny.
and you take a vodka.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, scratch what I said.
Yeah.
No, we've done some things here and there, but mostly it is our fault for not pushing it enough.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
with this,
So maybe wedding coordinators and,
Yes.
and folks that are having like anniversary parties and stuff like that. That would be your audience.
Yeah,
Hopefully, we
corporate
can help
events.
you guys
yeah.
get a little bit more out there as far as that's concerned. So
Yeah, we just started taking our.
that's the way I give, Chris. I don't give in mixed drinks. I give in this way.
You making your case?
I had a whole experience. Speaking of experience,
Zoom in.
what's in this glass is pretty neat.
Jenni's yummy face. What's Chris's?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a king to
He's having one.
Has there been so since you kind of launched me, kind of not. Maybe you've done a couple of events, this, that, and the other. Has there been an event that stood out that where it's like, hey, this was awesome, where you created it? Like, what was the name of the drink, or what did you do in particular that?
Oh man. I think one of the nights up here, it was the second cocktail night we did at the Humidor, and I did clarified margaritas. And, it is one of my favorite cocktails that I've made that's accessible. It takes a lot of time, and it was almost a disaster
Yeah.
the night before
because our week got so busy, and I didn't start clarifying these cocktails till that afternoon, at like 1 in the afternoon. That's a like 6+ hour process.
Yeah.
And did that, and then got home, and then I had to start the straining process.
Yeah.
We were up till 4 a.m. trying to get these cocktails right.
Three bottles of wine in, right?
3 bottles of wine, 10 episodes, 810 cats.
There's a lot of content
Oh,
created
man.
in.
It was about halfway through, I was adding more of the clarified cocktail into the strainer, and it broke through the filter.
Did you cheesecloth or did you
Oh,
copy?
oh.
We were paper toweling it.
We were
Yeah,
paper
we
toweling
did.
it. Yep. And it broke through, and then all of the stuff that I already done, which was 3 bottles worth, it was sitting in this container, got contaminated. And that was just after midnight, and I just about lost my mind. And I was so tired. I'd been up since like 4 the day before.
That's divorce level right there.
I think it was just the when it happened, just staring at it, just one move.
I don't
Yeah.
do. I can't do anything about what's in there now because it now has to be restrained.
Right.
And it was then me finding every filter I could in the house and like grabbing.
Oh, the contraptions
I had,
we build in our kitchen
like,
for this.
you know those fine strainers that like get bigger? We had one of those. We had a cone strainer. I was down to like a little bitty one for like individual drinks, like trying to strain through and save this stuff.
Yeah.
And it came out great.
You're almost cheesecloth.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, but it came out great, and it was worth it for the next day. Like, how many people that were like, I don't usually like margaritas, or I'm not a big fan of tequila, or whatever it was. Like, this is one of the best drinks I've ever had. Or they typically are like really, really sweet cocktail drinkers, and they have like, oh my gosh, this is so balanced. This is
Right.
they just fall in love with it. And that was a moment for me. It was like, it was an experience for everyone involved, including me.
Right. Very cool.
Salute you. Salute y'all.
All right, so let's transition to 10th Mountain.
Yeah.
Is that something new for you? You're wearing a hat, so I mean,
I am,
you can
I am.
add to it.
I'm repping.
And we've already drank a beverage that was pretty yummy. It's very good. So over the last month and a half, 2 months?
Right at, I think I started officially mid-March. I took the job at the end of February, exited the company I was at. They were very, very good to me. We're very big believers. They knew my passions.
Sure.
And been there now. We're coming up on just about a month, I think, this week. And it's a really cool company that does a lot of great things.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Tell us about it.
So 10th Mountain is based on the 10th Mountain Division in the military. They are the most activated division in the military, period.
Okay.
Since they were activated originally in the 1940s, during World War II, they saw what the Finnish did to the Russians when the Russians tried to come into the mountains. And they, with way less forces, understanding the terrain, understanding mountain warfare, were able to defend themselves against the Russians, which is hard to do if you do any research on the Russians during World War II. So they looked after that. In 1942, they launched Camp Hale, the construction of Camp Hale, which is just outside of where we are based in Vail, Colorado.
Okay.
And that is where they trained many people. They took a lot of students from different ski schools around the nation, some excellent Olympic skiers that were being drafted, and they brought them in to train them in survival skills, in shooting, all of the aspects of warfare and tactics and things like that around warfare. And over a year, and they were deployed to the Apennine Mountains in Italy. Their goal was to cross the Gothic line, which was considered impenetrable. During the Battle of Riva Ridge, they took the Gothic line, and it was one of the things that led to the downfall of Germany during World War II, causing Hitler to surrender.
Yeah.
They were actually about to be deployed over to Japan, and 3 months before their date was when Japan
surrendered.
So they've done a lot of great things. We want to pay homage to them in what we're doing by having the tenacity to go after what we're doing, and the grit and all the ambition that it takes to make something great happen. Another cool thing, you know, a lot of our stuff is based around mountains. Obviously, we're in Vail, Colorado, so skiing's a big deal.
Yeah.
Outdoors are a big deal.
Sure.
All of that stuff. So we have a lot of that involved in all of our bottles. You can kind of see some of the designs. You see the ski. You see the walking man on here carrying his skis, which was
Literally everybody up in Colorado is, especially up in Vail and that area.
Oh yeah.
They're all healthy, fairly healthy.
Yes. Yeah.
'Cause you ain't seeing a lot of heavy people
No.
up there because they're gonna struggle up there.
Yeah, yeah. So we develop these products. Everything we distill is all around. We don't source anything. We have to source anything from the beginning. We have a full line of products.
Is it grain glass? Is everything
grain
sourced
glass. Yep.
in Colorado?
Yep, as much as we can.
Okay.
Our corn comes from Cortez, Colorado. You try
Okay.
blue corn.
Okay.
A little bit sweeter. Our rye comes from Fort Collins, and then some from North and South Dakota.
This is your rye.
That's our rye. Yep.
Okay.
And the rye mash bill is a 69% rye, 27% corn. So a little higher corn content.
Okay.
And 4% malted barley.
Nice.
To me, it is.
Let me get a little bit of this bourbon.
That's the single malt.
Or the whiskey, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have the bourbon. Well, I left it over there where I was making the cocktail. Thanks, Mike.
This is a single malt?
Single malt. This our single malt.
Should be amazing.
That's my favorite of all of them. But I'm a single malt guy, so of course I'm going to lean towards it.
I'm good with single malt as
Yeah.
long as it's not peated.
Yeah, not peated. It is not a
Amen.
peated single malt. It is a.
Amen.
No peat.
It is
Well,
fun. It's 19.
Jenny and I,
Right.
we're
We
on
get
the
it.
same
Yep.
page, right?
It's very much a.
So they went rogue with this bottle here.
Mhm.
What can you say about that bottle? This bottle here.
So this one, yeah. So this was the original, and you can see
Okay.
how much the military
Yeah.
throughout here. Our bourbon is probably our most popular spirit overall. It's not our most highly awarded. It's still gold and multiple awards and things like that. But it was kind of our foundation of our spirits, truly.
Okay.
You know, we offer a vodka and moonshines and a killer cordial.
Okay.
But this right here is what began it all. And you know anything about aging in Colorado because of the elevation, how high it is?
Yeah.
In gypsum, I believe it's 6,800 feet,
Yes.
right around there.
I've driven through there, but I've never actually stopped in there. It's always a drive-by.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's out there, but it's because of the elevation and the temperature swings up there. You didn't have you have 90-degree day during the summer, and it'll drop down to the 50s. So
Right.
that aging process, and because it's so dry, everything like that, water evaporates first.
Yeah.
We barrel at about 115, 120, and it has a massive impact. So it's really fun for people to taste things, get to ask them what they think the age statement is on the bottles,
Yeah.
because it ages so much quicker. So it reminds me, a reason I like this stuff is it reminds me a lot of Texas whiskeys.
Sure.
Which are super barrel impact,
Quick.
so
quick.
fast.
Yeah.
And that's one really cool thing that intrigued me on it, because it has a little bit of that funkiness because of that.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit different outside of what you typically get out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of great Kentucky bourbons out there, obviously.
But there's a big push to get out of the Kentucky traditional bourbon. Everybody loves boutique bourbons, loves the offshoots, loves the people that are trying something different. And frankly, there's a lot of people that are fatigued by the allocation
Yes.
bourbons. They just want to get away from that and get into like stuff that they like.
Yeah.
What's your favorite of their line?
I think I have to go with the rye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What do you like about it?
well, I'm a rye girl,
Okay.
through and through.
Okay.
Yes. So, and I tend to go the higher proof. Some kind of my sweet spot. Higher proof. I love all those baby spices. So I was very excited to try that rye when we knew this was going to happen and all that. So that's definitely going to be my favorite. The thing is, though, they're doing such amazing stuff up there. They're 10 years old. They're still a pretty
Yeah,
young
baby.
company, and
Yeah.
the fact that they are just winning award after award after
Yeah.
award tells you that they're going straight to the top.
Yeah.
You know, if they're already at this level,
Sure.
10 years in, I'd like to see 15, 20 plus years.
Yeah. So what does that conversation sound like when he's at your employer? It sounds like you like working there.
Yeah.
You treated them. They treated you right. You treated them right. And here's an opportunity to transition into a segment that you're already like you already got your toes, not 1, 2, maybe 3, 4 toes into.
It's a full foot.
And yeah,
One
so
foot.
yeah, so like, what does that conversation sound like with her? Like, hey, I have this opportunity to kind of like be waist deep in what we are passionate about. I mean, it had to have been like euphoric, like yes.
Yes, 100%.
It was really cool. So it's fun. This brings a lot of this full circle. This whole opportunity happened because of Cat's Cocktails conversation.
Okay, great.
So
Yeah.
we do lives every once in a while with some of our friends and stuff
Yeah.
like that. We
Yeah.
met Brian, who is the director of the company, and I met him on a live. They're one of our really, really close friends, and we hit it off, and we started talking about 10th Mountain, and we got to know each other. A few weeks later, he was talking about the company and some of the things you do, and I was like, well, when you need a salesman, just let me know.
Yeah.
I was in sales. And he's like,
I've
oh,
said that.
man.
I've said that a few times.
And,
Not
you know,
really meaning it, but I mean.
no,
I've said it.
100%. I just was, like, yeah, I want to work in the whiskey industry. But,
Yeah.
I said that kind of joke. He's like, well, I'll let you know if anything happens. And I'm just taking it nonchalantly. He reaches out to me in January and he goes, hey, man, so I was wondering if you'd be interested in being one of our regional sales managers for the company. And I was like, are you serious? Like, is this a joke?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we gotta talk. No.
Does it pay 20 pennies?
Yeah, like, yeah, what's
That's the
the,
first question.
yeah, like, what's the,
Am I doing this? Am I doing this for free?
yeah,
Like,
right, it
is
was,
this an internship?
yeah, 100% is like the thought process of it. And we just started talking about it, and I'm like, holy cow, this really happened. And there were some things that went through and it took a little bit of time, but then I got my official offer letter, and I was like, it was an emotional time because the company,
Yeah, I bet.
I was at a company that I loved.
Yeah.
The people there, they were some, like, locally, some people that really impacted me professionally.
Yeah.
And a lot of them personally. Just they
Yeah.
were very supportive. They were there when we got married.
Sure.
They're the reason that we actually got to have any sort of money with
Yeah.
the company I was at. That's the kind of people that they are.
Wow, that's
Like,
ooh.
it was really incredible. And then I get the word, I get my offer letter, and I accept it, and all of my leadership team that I'm very close to is out of town. And I'm like, this is not a phone call conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there for about 5 days, just like holding this in, like,
Yeah.
I have,
Anxiety.
I wasn't sleeping, obviously, because I was like, I know they're going to be supportive. They already knew my dreams and my aspirations and what I want to do.
It wasn't
But-
so neat.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, but
Hey.
And they get back, and I remember a very close friend of mine, and she was my direct report at the company.
Yeah.
It was Monday morning, and she comes in, she had been on vacation, and I was like, hey, can I talk to you?
That's
And
the best.
And she's like,
When a subordinate
Is
says
every-
that, you're like,
uh-oh.
okay.
she's like, is everything okay? I was like, it's very, very good, but I gotta tell you this. And I tell her, like, hey, I got this opportunity.
Yeah.
And she's like, and we both start crying because she's so happy for me.
Sure.
And she knows that, like, I feel that support.
Sure.
And she just gave me a big old hug. And it's like, you don't get to be a part of many companies that are so supportive of you growing. going
Yeah,
to your
that's
next
incredible, man.
level. And
It's awesome.
over the next, like, hour and a half, I got to talk through everybody there.
Yeah,
to tell
sure.
them in person. And it
Sure.
was just like the support of hearing from your boss instead of, what do I gotta do to keep here? What can I do for this?
Right.
Their questions were like, do they take care of you? Are you
Yeah.
getting paid enough?
Yeah.
Are you, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
You've grown so much.
Yeah.
I've watched you.
The Humidor is your online cigar retailing headquarters. Our experienced staff has spent years finding some of the best cigars from around the world to sell to our customers. If you're looking for an online cigar store that can help you find your next favorite smoke, welcome to the Humidor. We began the Humidor because of our deep appreciation of the finer things in life, a good conversation with friends, an aged whiskey, and, of course, a fine smoke. That's why, in addition to selling premium cigars online, we also operate a brick-and-mortar cigar lounge in Tyler, Texas. Our lounge is crafted to provide a classic ambience with modern sensibilities, and we've spent time ensuring that smokers and non-smokers have an enjoyable experience, whether they're there for a drink with friends or to enjoy the game.
Let's talk about your exit strategy and
Yes.
who you're going to mentor to get you know,
Yep.
take your position.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
awesome. They were just
Great.
like they supported me through it. And, like
I'm guessing it wasn't Walmart.
No, it was not Walmart.
No dang Walmart. I used to work at Walmart. I just know it wasn't Walmart.
It was not Walmart.
That's just not how they work.
Well, and I love one of the things that he said to me was, it is such a blessing to have the opportunity to leave a job that you love, where it's hard to leave.
Yeah.
And that was, it was a very bittersweet moment for
Yeah.
him because he is stepping into this
Yeah.
world that he wanted so deeply to be a part of,
Yeah.
but he's leaving behind a company that was so good to both
Yeah.
of us. And that's a rare thing, to walk away from.
Yeah, 2 employers ago, I did the same thing. Like I was working for this company that they actually demoted me, and then I learned so much about myself and about like who I needed to be, and then they re-promoted me, which was amazing. And then I remember like I gave my notice, which was hard to do. Because I loved what I did, but I was living in Amarillo, and then I wanted to live in East Texas because my family lives in Louisiana and my wife's family lives in like North Fort Worth. So we wanted to be in between. So East Texas makes it happen. And so I give the notice to my team, which they're all crying, and I'm like, it's going to be okay. I kind of knew kind of what was going to happen. And then the last day, I let all my management team go early. Like, go ahead and go because I don't want to be around you the last couple hours.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be just me and the hourly employees. And we can wrap things up and I can do it on my own, but I don't want to be around you because it's just going to be too emotional. And so they left like 6 hours early, and then I keyed in time for them to make sure they got paid. But I mean, it was an awesome experience. I wasn't gonna I wouldn't gonna do that. Come on. But it was an awesome experience. That my current employer, I'd probably have the same experience. Like it would be really hard to leave that what I built, and it would take a very, very like unique, fulfilling opportunity to move to something different for sure. Because I really enjoy what I do now. It's really fun. Every day is something new.
Oh, for sure.
Yep. Cool. All right. So, how much can we talk about Houdini?
We can talk a little bit. Not too far in depth. We can
Okay.
kind of give vision. We can cast that.
Okay. So let's give a context. What is Houdini's?
So,
Or what's it gonna be?
Houdini's is going to be a bar here in South Tyler. We're actually-
Near the humidor.
Yep, super near the humidor.
Okay. Super near.
Like super near.
Like maybe next door?
Like if I would dare say.
I would do.
Dare say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dare say it would be next door. And it's a vision of a combination of Blake we've had on the podcast before, and he and I connected a few years back, and just very generally, and then I don't know, 6 months ago, something like that, we reconnected up here and started talking about that, and I was like, man, what do you think about having some cocktail nights here at the Humidor? And he was like, I want to talk to you about that. Let's talk next week.
Yeah.
And it kind of became this vision of of creating a bar, which has been a dream of Jenni and I's for a
Right.
long time.
Yeah.
And that's our goal. And it's to take a lot of what the neat experience is, create really cool cocktails and create something unique for Tyler. I have said in the beginning that when we started talking about bar, I want to create something that is like what Death & Co. has done, and that you go to somewhere. Yeah, exactly. Amanda gets that you want to be there because you know, like this is the place to be. Tyler, I want to be when someone goes to Tyler, that's the place you want to stop. People talk about Stanley's. You gotta go there.
You gotta stop and Plaid Rabbit starting
Plaid.
to get that.
Exactly.
Like,
Fly rabbit or
yes,
yourself,
like
Yeah.
Plaid Rabbit's starting to get to that zone where people feel mischievous there.
Yep.
And they want to be part of that
yes.
area.
And they
So
don't wanna miss out.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of what you're shooting for, in my opinion. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't live in Tyler, but I've spent a lot of time in Tyler in the last 2 years, and the vibes are that. Like Stanley's for food, obviously, and Plaid Rabbit for drink.
Yeah.
We want more.
Yes.
That's
so much
That's
more.
the thing. And like, I think there's been a mentality that I feel like in Tyler of competition, and I don't think competition is bad.
No,
I think
it's great.
There's been a mindset shift in this city of how healthy that is and how much you grow from having more people in town doing cool things.
Right.
It drives business everywhere, and it pushes you to your very, very best.
Yeah.
And it's not competition. It's not a negative word. It's not even really competition.
It's great.
It just gives you the opportunity to say like, oh man, I want to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because it may inspire me.
Yeah.
And I think Lance and Ebby and everybody up there are just
Yeah.
super inspiring people.
Oh, 100%.
Amazing.
Yeah, we had Lance on, and
Yeah.
he's
Awesome dude.
awesome. He's
He's lived so many lives.
yeah. I mean,
Yes.
he's very misunderstood
Yes.
in a lot of ways because he likes to be very edgy on social media and shit like that,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Sorry, mom and dad, but he is a genuine dude.
Yes.
And I will take some of that rye whenever you pass. Blake, I'll take some of that rye whenever you pass it around. Whenever you pass it.
He looks like he's gonna take a while. He's gonna bottle serve the rest of it.
I'm responding to a bad review.
Yeah. You responded to a bad review on the humidor? Yeah. You're right there with Lance.
I know. He's gonna
Play
love,
Wu-Tang
he's gonna
song.
love
Yeah.
my response.
Right?
Lead off.
Lance's replies are the best.
This guy will like mine. I'm fine.
I can do that.
You're gonna have to share it 100%.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's very long.
It's so
Is
good.
this a shout out? I love
Yeah.
It's
Basic
only
Bailey's.
1,500 characters out of 4,000.
I mean, oh well, I walked into the humidor and it smelled like smoke. What are you talking about?
They
Like,
charge for cigars here?
oh, yeah.
Fair
They
enough.
charge
Sitting
for
outside
cigars,
and I got
but you
stung
get
by
free
a
water, you
bee.
get free Coke
Yeah.
and Diet Coke,
How do they give you free stuff and charge you for it?
and then you got a litany of bottles that if somebody allows you to have some, you can like this place is a mecca.
Yes.
Like you can come here and have a fantastic time for little to nothing.
Yes.
New experience has
and-
5 stars.
and-
5
Hold on.
stars.
On top of that,
We have 4 points.
you can meet people and talk to people that are likely, more than likely, very similar to you because you're here and you're going to like them. So you walk in, you buy a cigar, you may have a free pour or not, maybe not. Maybe you bring a bottle and enjoy it.
Yes.
You have a water, you have a Coke. Why would you complain about anything? Literally, this is one of the funnest places that I've ever been in Thailand.
Yeah, this place has been very, very, very good to me in my personal journey. I mean, it's led me to some really great friendships, especially with Trent and Blake, who are here both your
Yeah.
which is so cool. It's led me the opportunity to meet them and grow as a person.
Well, Trenton was on the podcast, and it was a little dicey. I mean, I had to,
Okay.
I had to coach him up a lot.
That guy.
He was pretty nervous.
You have to tell
And,
me.
and I had to kind of like get him to talk a little bit.
Oh.
It was a
sure that
little
was
hard
He's
to.
pretty quiet, yeah.
We can start conspiracy
It's
theory
great
podcast.
having you, man. It's great having you. I'm glad you're supporting the cause. Really, I do.
For sure.
We love that dude.
Yeah, great guy.
And to your point, talk about the humidor is yes, you get to meet a lot of people like you, but you also get to meet people unlike you.
Yeah.
And learn about them and learn about their life experience and things like that.
100%.
And
Yeah.
that's what cigars do. Like
Yeah.
that's what's great about this place. It gives you the opportunity to be in a comfortable, non-sterile environment that just feels like, oh, I'm lounging with my friends.
Yeah.
And you walk in here, I think Scott Sampson says it best. It's like walking into Cheers.
Yes.
It's like this is your Cheers. You walk in and everybody shakes your hand. Everybody wants to say hello.
Yeah.
They want to know your story. Yep. Like come sit with us. Come hang out with us.
Yeah, and your shoulders kind of just like
They do, absolutely.
just come down a little bit, because you come in and you're just like, okay, well, maybe we'll see what happens, because the threat of political things coming up, the threat of financial things coming up, the threat of all these things that people know about East Texas or Tyler or whatever are going to come up, but it never does. And if it does, it's docile. It's like, this is the way it, whatever. I don't like this, I don't like that. And normally it's this, everybody's this, hey, look, this is the way I agree. Or not, or whatever.
Or you hear and you learn and you grow.
And it's never combative in this situation. It's never is. Never it is.
And then
So-
I want to add to, as a non-cigar smoker,
Yeah.
it is still a fantastic place to come and sit and hang out. I've tried. My husband is an avid cigar smoker. I haven't tried, and I just very quickly realized it's not my jam. But I would each their own. To each their own, absolutely. And I would still come sit with him and hang out. The vibe's chill. It's laid back. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, going back to Houdini,
Yes.
do we have, I'm looking at Bluffy a little bit. Do we have kind of a sense of how that's going to work, or what's your influence, or what are y'all's influence on the brand, the build out, what's that going to be?
So we're doing.
If you can say, I mean,
we're
cool if you can.
Our responsibility is the cocktail program primarily.
Okay.
Like we collaborate on like how the building's gonna look and stuff like that, what the goals are, and what's realistic, what's not realistic, and things like that. But primarily, is our job is to build the cocktail experience for them.
Yeah.
And to as being partners together.
Right.
And so it's a really cool opportunity, because as shortly before he and I connected a few months ago, we were supposed to open a bar in downtown London. We were working on a project and some things fell through.
Yes.
It didn't work out. It's funny looking back, because there was a lot of things that happened in that time frame. The time frame we were supposed to be opening in, some really tough things happened in my family. And wouldn't have been able to handle that, opening a business and that thing had been there for my family in the midst of that. So there's like universe, God, however you view it, like there was a reason for everything happening.
Yeah.
And it brought us together, and I consider him like a brother to me. He's a very precious friendship.
Yeah.
Outside of the business side of things, like he teaches me a lot.
Yeah.
And is just a badass dude. And he gets the opportunity to help a dream come true for the two of us, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
To partner with someone who believes in people is
Right.
really, really an incredible experience, and not everybody gets to do that. And I know the privilege from our side is it goes without saying. Like it's really a precious thing to have those kind of people in your lives that just believe that they're like, I can help make this happen. We get to work together.
Yeah.
Do this together.
It's liquor privilege.
It's liquor privilege.
Spirit privilege.
Spirit privilege.
Dare I say they're squared?
Yeah, it's squared. Yes.
But yeah, it's a really cool thing that we get to work together and create something that I think will be beautiful and really beneficial in our town, Tyler, that doesn't really have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We want to create something that works and creates an environment that this area becomes kind of a hangout for folks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like downtown's amazing. I love going downtown. We live closer to
Right.
downtown here, but this is a place we had talked about because she had a store here for a few years on this side of town, and we talked about like this would be a really cool area. I wish there was more hangouts down here.
Yeah.
Other than the restaurants over here and things like that. But
Yeah.
an actual place for you to hang out, have a drink, be with your friends, have a chill environment, and have something really special. So that's the vision that we've been able to collaborate on and create something we believe is going to be really, really cool.
Yeah. Jen, what do you envision the Houdinis to be from a female perspective? Like a lot of times, from a female perspective, there's some apprehension to like going to bars and things like that. What are you gonna bring that you feel like will, like, hey, look, this is gonna be really fun.
Right.
We're gonna have new drinks, and what do you think that Houdini's gonna bring from your perspective that will attract females to the bar?
We're really aiming at the craft cocktail bar side of things. We are not a shop bar. You're not going to come in and ask for a shot of, Jaeger or tequila. We're going to make you a craft cocktail. We're a little more high end, so you don't have to worry about the sports bar aspect of things.
Yeah.
Now, as a female and as a mom of a 20-year-old daughter, these are things that I think a constant need is safety precautions.
Yeah.
So those are things, even when we were talking about what are some things that we can put into place to make sure that whether a group of girls come, whether a girl on that date comes, what are things that we can do to make sure she is protected.
Absolutely, 100%.
And I love the idea of doing the, in the bathroom having the, if you don't feel comfortable, come aboard with this and we'll get out of the situation. And I told my mom this. And she
love
goes,
that.
I do. So I definitely want to kind of implement something like that. Especially
Because we had a couple of experts on human trafficking come on.
Yes,
and it's like it's really changed me as a person. Like after you get done with that podcast, and you hear about like what's happening and what age and stuff like that, you start like changing your dialect and your like conversations and what you're thinking about and how you're speaking and
I feel like just society period have kind of changed I love the way you said it, just our entire communication on a manner. Because it's not this, that happens elsewhere. It happens here.
Yeah.
And everybody's very aware that
Oh,
it happens
100%.
here. And we're not going to be in a situation, especially when we're serving, libations like this.
Yes.
That's,
Yeah.
this is very real everywhere.
Right.
So I was telling my mom about doing this, having this kind of in the bathroom. So if you don't feel comfortable, if you need out of a situation, like, hey, come order this, we'll know what to do. And my mom goes, well, let them off your nights. Don't even mind on that day.
Yeah.
Mom.
Right? Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
And so, so I was like, oh, what? And maybe that was my bad. I'm so focused on making sure the girls are okay. But, both bathrooms, let's go. Let's make sure if you're in a bad situation, if you're on a bad date.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Maybe even if you
Such a
came by
great
yourself and you're like, want too many, but I'm embarrassed or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, come order this, and we'll be like, you know what, Uber's on the way. We got
So
you.
we know. Love it.
Yeah.
Such a new, like, idea
Yeah.
that a lot of places have not thought about.
We want to be a safe space.
Yeah.
You know, and whether, again, it took me a long time. I'm 40 years old. It took me a long time to get to the point where I am comfortable going and sitting in a bar by myself.
Yeah.
And even still, at 40, there's a part
You
of me
look
that's
like you're 32.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Hopefully
Me
your
too.
eye-
Me too.
Hopefully your eyebrows raised there. You know, I'm
Thank
just
you.
hoping.
You know, it's still kind of an unnerving thing, and I think it's just the way
Well,
girls were kind of raised, is to kind of always be.
I think the 38 to 42 crowd is more susceptible because, frankly speaking, I mean, typically, if you're single at that age, then you're working off of apps, or you're working off of off of websites that are matching you and doing. And there's a lot of deception that can happen there too, and there's a lot that can't be realistic.
Right.
And so when things happen that come to fruition that's not real, then you need a bailout, and you're offering a bailout that's not a best friend or somebody who you have tail with you. You're offering something that's immediate, and that's an ingenious idea. I don't know who had it. Like, probably not, but I don't know. But it's a great idea. Great idea.
In the dating era, we've been together 4 years.
Yeah.
I was a single mom for 16 years before that.
Wow.
So, trying to navigate the whole dating world, you're trying to be smart and safe by being in a public place.
Right.
But even still in those situations.
Yes. Yeah.
I've had my fair share of first meetups at Grove City Draft House. And just trying to be, okay, I'm going to meet over there, so I've got my car and, things like that. But still, sometimes things happen. I always have my location at all times.
You don't have no 3 bottles of wine.
Oh, I absolutely
first.
not. Absolutely not. Nope.
Chris
very
put it
charming.
on you though.
He sure did.
Tell me you're in sales without telling me you're in sales.
Right. Yeah.
If let me say this, as we're sitting here talking about all the dating apps that I did meet right now, absolutely, and one has been on a dating app. So they do work.
Yeah, they do.
There are some good ones out there.
Yep.
A lot of bad ones out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drops.
Yeah. I met my wife at a Christmas party, and I met some friends of hers like 2 weeks before. And at a bachelor party, no, they weren't strippers. But they were playing pool. We were playing pool next to them. They were looking like they were having fun. I was seeing the guy. I introduced myself. Hey, blah blah blah. That was back in the beeper days.
Ooh, this man got a beeper.
Yes. And so, like 2 weeks later, they beepered me. Hey, look around the Christmas party. You're welcome to come do it. I was like, I ain't doing crap. And then I was like, hey, got crap to do that night. I guess I'll go. So I was like, what do I have to bring? And they said, well, just something for like white elephant. Okay, fine. Do it. I stop and get scotch. Actually, and a mixer. Because I'm going to mix scotch. Because I wanted to have a good night.
What was your mixer?
Sprite Zero.
Yeah.
Sprite Zero. And I got 2 bottles of wine as my white elephant. So as we do the white elephant, she's the prettiest girl of the group. And 100%. I would say that a million times over. And I can tell what she wants. And I can tell that she has a kid. And so I'm like, I need to make sure that I get that. So I make sure that I do the trades and I get it. and we're done, and she's upset because she didn't get it. And I go to her and I say, hey, I stole this because I wanted to talk to you. And she's like, smitten. She's like, smitten. And I'm like, can I have your number? And she's like, you can add more than that.
Hey!
Right?
Yeah, the number to my people.
If our parents are watching, it was less than that. But anyway, it was a great night. We hugged. We hugged. No, I adopted my kid. Yeah, so he was 2 when we came into the situation, and then I waited till he was 13 to make sure that he knew like what was going on. And so that Christmas, when he turned 12, I was like, they asked me, Dad, what do you want for Christmas? We never know what you want. I said, well, I'd like to adopt you. And they were like, oh, they were melted. And then I adopted him when he was 13, and we had all this like fun stuff happen. Like I made him a jersey and all this cool stuff. It was awesome. It was really, really awesome. And we're like when I lost it was when he went to the Navy. And so he goes to the Navy, and my grandfather went to the Navy, and I didn't join it. I was a socialite. And I knew too many people to go into the armed forces. I could make it the way I just slummed it for years and just did what I needed to do. But he goes to the Navy because I forced him to. So he goes to the Navy, and I go to he gets done boot camp, comes back, he's in base in Fort Worth. Thankfully, he certified as a marksman. He's a really good shot. Maybe I sell guns.
Anyway.
But anyway, so we go to visit him at his barracks, and his place is a mess. He's still a mess. But anyway, I'm going through his closet, and he's got a jumpsuit that says Darrington on the back. And I had to walk out. I walked out and wept for a while because my grandfather. Yes. Well, my grandfather his tanker got sunk during World War II, and so he got malaria. And just knowing the challenges that he had, it was a cool moment. It was really, really cool moment. So, anyway, that's talking too much about me.
I have a heart for the Navy as well.
Yes? How? Why?
My grandfather was a Navy surgeon.
So anytime Navy's involved.
Okay. Was he on a tank?
So he actually drove barge that would pull up to land and let me. The coolest story that I have with him, let me just
brag on my
grandfather.
Yes, please.
He died the year before I was born. I never got to meet him.
Okay.
The
story
stories
I used to tag my dad to him before my papa born.
Every night I was just obsessed.
Yes.
I mean,
He made
scrapbook,
scrapbooks. I would take a little show and
tell,
tell.
like, I was
This
just
man was so awesome.
well, this World War II story I have of him though is his partner got caught. And he floated onto the back in the ocean for 3 days. Working his face up.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah, he's tired, small, had my dad and all that stuff. The man ever working years and since they killed him.
Yeah.
Both of his legs, one of the
Yeah.
and when he still had no scars, he still drove to work at a van makeshifts that we could drive.
Yeah.
And it was when he lost his arm that, he wasn't more.
Yeah. It's done.
Really happened. In the end,
My grandfather drank tonic with quinine. His whole,
I think we turned into a grandfather.
Yeah. Well, we started talking about it, and I was like, it's so an interesting tidbit about me that a lot of people don't know, and I don't talk about it a lot, but Blake knows, is that my great-grandfather's great-grandfather was E.H. Taylor. So my lineage, and part of the reason why I'm probably who I am is because of that. Because of, so my grandfather's name, hold on, my grandfather's name was Blanton Taylor.
Of course.
By I believe, very strong influences. And so my aunt ran the lineage quite a few years ago. And so I've known for a while, but I don't really share a lot. But I mean for you guys, because you guys are in it and you're interested and stuff like that. So I got my and I shared with you, I believe I did, my grandfather's birth certificate. And it shows the lineage. It shows his great-grandfather. It shows his grandfather, or his father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. And E.H. Taylor's listed. So my mom's maiden name was Taylor. And so I knew that there could be a possibility that it could do, and so we ran the deal, and it's a cool deal, and if you ever go to that, I've been to the distillery, and you just try to stop time in some way, as best you can, but you can't.
Yeah.
You just can't. And so it's Castle Key now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But it's tailored to me. So it's tailored.
100%.
So, but they do a great job inside. They really do. But outside, it's tailored to me.
Yeah.
And what he did, what his influence during Prohibition and during the bottle and bond period. Like the fact that he was doing those things during when people were making white lightning in tubs and stuff like that is so cool. So anyway, sorry.
I'm sorry. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, so that's kind of the ploy that I use whenever I go to stores. I'm like, I'm E.H. Taylor.
You guys got any blue?
Do you have them small? No, I don't, but I mean, and so now my goal is to try to get something that's maybe a little bit more like birth certificates, or maybe something that's like written by him or something like that. That's my goal, is try to get some stuff that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like, show up a couple of weeks ago. Hey, look.
Listen.
Look. What do I need to show you? A hair follicle?
What do you want? I can prove it, I promise.
Yes.
I would at least have this place.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. All right. So, at the end of my podcast, this is kind of a unique podcast where I try not to do a lot of talking. I've done probably more than I have at any other podcast, because your content is kind of in line with mine. Is I like to do some shout outs, man. I really, okay, so I want to go another layer, because you've already talked about like your previous job, your current job, but I really want to know about, other than Jenni, but she's going to give her own shout outs, are there any people that you really want to recognize, family members, people that have influenced your life, mentors, somebody who you want to make sure that you recognize? We've already recognized Blake. I mean, who's somebody you can talk about that's really impacted your life, influenced your life?
There's a few people. There's what I want to mention. I mentioned them earlier, but Mike King.
we met them through Cat's Cocktail Conversations, he and his wife Jessie. And that man has such an interesting story.
Yeah.
And he is one of the most creative and giving people in this world. He believed in us from the beginning. She mentioned a drink early on that we made.
I know the hot
No, that one. This is a different one. This is much smaller. This is different. He made it. I made this cocktail, and I layered Empress Gin on top, so it was bright green with purple on top, and I couldn't come up with a name to save my life. So I posted a picture about it and sent it on and said, "What would you name this cocktail?" And Mike at Jess messaged me, and she named it Silence after the Joker. And it was just, I was like, oh my God, that's perfection. And from that moment, like, he showed creativity in life and things he does. This man created and he's done this a few times but he created a whole, like, stop motion animation of a tasting or something we did out of Legos.
Oh, shit.
And he's, in a tough time in our life, he knew that I was going through stuff.
Yeah.
He's an artist that does a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
Sent her a pan for the name of the he had laid at his house and bottled it, and it has like the whole label over the top, like everything. It's beautiful. And he sent me the art piece, scaled down the art piece he had done. And this light switch that's broken on position, which is kind of mine.
Yes.
Always being on, always.
Yeah.
That guy is one of the most generous, giving, and thoughtful people that I've ever had in my life. And so Michael King, he's retired military Marine, and he was an MP. He's got stories, featured in books. It's pretty cool. This guy's a hell of a human being. Yeah. He's given us some of the right pieces too. Another one. I go on my mind. That's the first one.
Very cool. Jenny?
Oh, sorry, I was trying to tell her, but I
have to shout out my baby girl.
Okay.
I promise I'm not going to cry. Why am I crying?
Well, don't cry.
That's okay, Kate.
Thank you.
I'm not going to dive into it, but she absolutely hurt my life. I was 19 when I pregnant.
Yeah.
I've always the good girl, and I was just kind of heading down a path, and just immediately single mom,
Yeah.
And she has been my absolute best friend. She is at the university of Tennessee right now, which is way too far away. Don't go there yet.
Oh, that's big.
She's absolutely killing it. I'm in my car. She makes time out how many times a day.
At least 4.
Even today, sitting over here going through all these videos, she's giving me up the clothes. She just got words and all this kind of stuff. But she is my everything, my reason to get that, the air in my lungs. She is my everything. And
Yeah.
I would not be where I am without her. It's not at all whiskey related, although we have a feature on our shirts.
Yeah.
We've done a mocktail with Liam. She popped in. Oh, my absolute favorite videos that we've ever posted is, I don't know how many times we had to restart it because she was popping on the side, and Chris's face, he would start it, and just like, it's still to this day my absolute favorite because she's contacted in, and she's over here like, I've been just absolutely great. But the type of year she's here,
Yeah.
no alcohol involved because we don't want to get,
Yeah, sure.
an Instagram stars on our ass. So, but
My girl.
so, but we also one thing that we love to do with them, as a side note, is
Use their noses.
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
A 10-year-old and 20-year-old having the
nose
Yeah.
of whiskey,
of bourbon, whatever.
because
They're
they're
going to pick stuff up and
probably
go, oh,
right.
Yeah.
We're looking at it,
from a different mindset.
Yeah, sure.
So, but not related to this, but I am writing because of her shoots. I'm just so proud. So when you ask that question, the only person I find is KK.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I could come up with others. Christine is just.
Well, that's why we like to end the podcast that way, just so that way you guys can, like, focus on someone or something that potentially you haven't talked about publicly or that deserves that recognition from you, and it's genuine. And typically on a podcast, you're not talking slang. You're going to be from the heart, the real deal. Because people will call you out. You know it. They're going to say, "This is baloney," and it also gives them or you an opportunity to share with them, like, "Hey, we did this podcast, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we talked about that's whatever. But at the end of it, I wanted to make sure that you were recognized, and so." And every now and again, we pick up a follower or two, or somebody that was impactful to your life. And it may not even be her. It may be somebody that knows her. Or it may be somebody who is affiliated with you that recognizes that was impactful. So it's cool. Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much for being on. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it so much. I mean, thank you for hosting us, Blake, here at the Humidor.
The best audience ever.
Yeah, the best audience. Yeah, really enjoyed it. So we've got some great guests tonight, obviously. And we have some cool guests that are coming up on very shortly. We have Matt Gaskill from Gaskill Nights that are coming on next. He is going to stretch me a little bit because I don't know much about knives, honestly. I just cut crap with it. So I'm going to learn a lot about that. And then we have our detective friend, Alan Patton, coming on at the beginning of May. He's going to talk about the first homicide that he figured out and solved. He solved 46 total homicides. It's his first one. He sent me some pictures. It's very graphic, and it's just going to be very, very cool. We're going to have him on a rotation. I'm working on the Rose City comedic group, getting them on a rotation because I think it'd be a blast to have them here and try.